Well guys, it's been 10 years ago since we've last played Super Monkey Ball Monkey Target, and this time with much more better quality than he forms of how it does it back in 2013. Yeah, despite that however though, I think we should probably explain more about it once we get this entire thing started. So, hello, what is up everybody? It is I am the one and only Jewel here, and I am Blossom here, and I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, aka the Blue Blood, aka Blue Justice. And I am the one and only Starlight Glimmer here, and welcome you all from the likes of the Maxi Toys Videos department. So, yeah, because after the events of recently, that Mighty and Ray have recently both managed to finish their Let's Play of Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, and in addition to that, Sonic needs to be able to take a break for a little while for the sake of the forms of Sonic Frontiers, at least for now anyway. And in addition to that, after tackling through quite a few Powerpuff Girls games on the GBA due to the forms of the 25th anniversary of the series debuted, ever since in 1998, oh yeah, because that features me, including Bubbles and Buttercup as well. So even then though, I'm sure that you were able to actually look back on it though, and saying that that is the most impressive show ever conceived for the sake of Cartoon Network community. So, anyways though, so because of this though, we have decided able to actually go ahead and tackle through those three popular mini-games, or party games to be more specifically, based off from Super Monkey Ball 1, which there are Monkey Target, Monkey Golf, and Monkey Bowling. And during that specific period, we're also able to actually go for the exactly same days again, and also we've decided able to do the actual chronological order ever since in 2013. So meaning about the fact that we're able to actually show you guys those amazing party games again, except this time, as what Joel has already mentioned about, is that the quality should be a little bit more nicer than the forms of how it does it back in 10 years ago. Jeez, it's been 10 years ago since our videos of the likes of the forms of, let's just say, the beginning portion of our new series of videos, which appears to be the multiplayer mayhem. So because of that, although we were originally able to actually play Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania version, not just by the forms of Monkey Target, but also with Monkey Golf and Monkey Bowling throughout the majority of the forms of that specific run. But unfortunately though, I think I should probably explain more details about that if we decide able to go into, let's just say we're once again going to be setting the actual thing for 15 rounds. And as you can tell, Drew is actually player 1 this time. Yep, so in some cases though, I'm playing as Mimi. And same applies with me as well. And don't forget me as well. So this means about the fact that, as I mentioned this before, Jewel was actually player 1 this time, and Blossom, she's now in player 2, and meanwhile for me, I am player 3. And finally, Starlight Glimmer, she's on player 4. So because of that, once again, I'm gonna have to able to cope with these girls again. The only exception this time around though, is that there's no mana feed this time around though, because, well, fundamentally speaking though, it's also been 5 years ago, since when we did done the Super Monkey Ball Deluxe counterpart of those specific, familiar party games as far as I'm concerned. Although, despite we actually did those party games in a different order, likely or so we start the thing off as in Monkey Golf, all the way up to Monkey Target. So as a result, because we decided to go for a switcheroo basically. So because of that, and I'm the only one who's going to be playing as II for this particular series of videos for the sake of the forms of those familiar, old school, you know what I'm saying. So because of that, I know for a fact it's been a very, very, very long time since we somehow managed to play the Super Monkey Ball 1 counterparts of certain party games for sure. But, as you can definitely tell right from the start though, is that things got a lot more different this time around. I'm sure that Drew will be able to explain about this while I decided able to go ahead and get the actual score points and stuff like that. So, allow Drew to explain. So, yeah, because basically, as you can tell, we still ended up with the forms of 15 rounds, as what Sonic has already mentioned about this, And also is about the fact that, as you can tell, we've now decided added in the Wheel of Danger function. So as you can tell, before the round starts, you have to able to stop the roulette wheel, and basically you get about few percent chances that you might come across into some safe zones, or you might come across into certain hazards, ranging from the clouds, which allows you to able to blocks the vision for certain targets, or blocks the actual the viewing at one point. And on top of that, as you can tell, as what Starlight Glimmer did somehow stumble across into, she stumbled across into bombs, where basically if you touch this specific bomb, you will get exploded and you get launched in the air. And on top of that, there might be a couple of times that things get a little bit more tough at this point. Mainly in round 3, round 6, round 9, round 12, and finally round 15. So because of that, yeah, unfortunately though, I also decided to get bombs. So yeah, this is gonna be a little bit of a pain in Junior Forms of this round. So, because in this round in particular, well, basically those little floats decides to able to get a little bit more separated. So because of that, well, wish me luck, I guess, especially for you guys, including you, Sonic the Hedgehog. So, yeah, I'm sure that I'll be able to become a little bit more victorious for able to win certain parts. Well, don't get my hopes up, especially noticeable because we've now set the actual Wheel of Danger turned on, because I know for a fact that for one thing is that during the forms of 10 years ago, I believe both White Teddy and Orange Teddy used to able to do this, including Daffy Duck and Sylvester, but it seems to be more specifically, they just didn't be bothered able to actually turn on the Wheel of Danger option. So I'm also able to use my Break Ball if I was able to use that, because as you can tell, if you keep on collecting certain bananas, if you couldn't tell, the actual green little glowing thing on the actual special moves or special feature you might able to actually function with. Basically though, I'm sure that Sonic will explain, because I somehow fell off, so that sucks. Alright, so I'm going to be able to do round 3 right here. But of course, much like the forms of how it does it back in 2013 and 2018 respectively, we're able to actually take turns by switching the controller around. Although, I was expecting to able to actually hook up, not 1, but 4 controllers, but I feel like it can be a bit of a cumbersome able to set this up. So because of that, although mind you, we're going to be playing this particular game right here on the Nintendo Wii, just in case for a pretty good picture quality, even though sometimes the sound can be a little bit... Oh god! God dang it, bombs. Alright, so it's now my turn, so let's see if I don't get the bombs, unlike you guys. Hey, I'm safe. Oh, there's also the spike balls, that basically those spike balls will appear in the air, right above the actual targets itself. At least if you dare manage able to touch those spike balls, you would temporarily just fall off or get stunned. And on top of all that stuff though, is that I don't think you can get points if you're in that specific fly mode. So, yeah, you got to watch out for those, so... Oh, this might be my hope. Okay, I'll take 20 points. So, anyways though, so as what Jewel has already explained about this, is that basically, if you keep collecting those bananas, you're able to actually get one of those 5 special items you can able to utilize with. Like, for instance, there is 0 mph, which stands for 0 miles per hour for the wind. So as a result, obviously it triggers no wind, so that'll be pretty useful, especially noticeable if you decide to want to go after some plentiful of targets you can able to actually land on, like also 50 points, 100 points, etc, etc. But nothing even compares to the forms of how it does it for the like, let's just say, 4 amazing items that we can able to utilize with, which are the break ball, which allows you to able to actually break your ball at one point if you decide to go near towards the forms of certain amount of points if you really want to get those, and that was easily the best recommendation if you really want to go after the most valuable the amount of points you can get. And in addition to that, there was also the double score, which, let's just say for example, that if you do manage to able to equip the double score, likely, for example, it is my turn, although I'm thinking I'm also able to go ahead and just... Ah, dang it, there's a cloud. So yeah, it triggers the cloud, and that means the thing is actually gonna get a little bit brighter and it's hard to see. So because of that, I was expecting if I was trying to able to use the double score, but I think I should save that in the later rounds. So as you can tell, and if I do manage to able to activate the double points, like for example, if I landed the 100 points, and then if I somehow triggered the double point system, basically that gives me 200 points if I landed on 100 points, so... And vice versa for the sake of the forms of the triple score as well. Yes, Starlight Glimmer, we'll get to that in a moment. So, and the next item we have is the Magnet Ball, which is by far my favorite of the bunch. Not only because it can actually able to magnetically attract it to the forms of certain points you want to land on, but also, get this, is that particular ability is a godsend if you decide able to go after the most valuable amount of points, likely also 100, 200, 300, and most importantly, the gold platform, which does contain, well, 500 points. So I think getting 500 points without even like equipping the or without even using the magnet ball is impossible. But I think if you try to manage able to utilize the magnet ball, it'll be a godsend, you know. Especially because, well, that'll help you out if you decide to go for a much more bigger, higher score. So, oh, can I make it? Haha, I got 300 points. Oh yeah, as well, Jewel to somehow use that magnet ball on 300 points on that particular float on the right. So, however, certain floats are very tricky at times, able to actually get the best score if imaginable. Likely, for example, the float on the left, that, my goodness, in order able to get the amount of points on the left float is actually way too harder than it looks. So, and meanwhile, as you can tell, Blossom decides able to use the triple score, which obviously functions kind of like the same thing as double score, except you get triple amount of points. Like, I could imagine if she able to actually dares to able to actually get 300 points on there, basically though it's about the fact that she will get 900, but she just lands on 200 points, so that means she got 600, so that's quite a lot. Yep, especially noticeable because I am a, well, everything nice, basically. So because of that, though, yeah, that's as far as what Sonic has already explained about any of those specific items work, and especially noticeable concerning for the fact that I believe every single time, whenever you decide able to obtain the singular banana, basically though, I think it actually gives you about 10 points. Yep, 10 points. And then if you grab the banana bunch, I think it actually gives you 100. Or 20 to be more specifically. You may be thinking about the forms of, oh goodness gracious me, that was close. And to make matters a little bit awkward about it is that I somehow got 15 points, which I was not expecting that, but oh well, no big deal, it's just for fun really. Especially, as I said before, it's been 10 years ago since the previous version of this specifically Super Monkey Ball Monkey Target video has been established, despite the fact that back then, it was sadly divided into two parts, unfortunately, mainly because, while looking back on it now, mainly because about the fact that we're trying to get used to with this powerful new technology for us, which is of course utilizing the capture card device. So yeah, you probably get the idea of how that's gonna turn out to be while looking back on it though. Yeah, I totally respect that. So, and also in addition to that though, is about the fact I feel like the sound mixing back then is actually really bad. So, but even then no. Well, at least thankfully that the sound mixing is nowhere near as bad as the phones of 10 years ago, thankfully. So, speaking of which though, is about the fact that, well, you guys who probably already know, I don't suppose if you might as well know it's Starlight Glimmer. Oh, what is it, Sonic? It's that, did you know, it's been 10 years ago since My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 4 has first came out in the Hub Network. Oh yeah, it's been 10 years, wasn't it? Yep, at least ever since then, because I suppose that maybe about the fact that I believe some toy sales has forgot to explain any of that, especially concerning for the fact that, as we mentioned about this before, that, you know, we somehow basically tackled through 2 Powerpuff Girls games so far, able to mark the 25th anniversary of the series itself. But even then, no, that's as far as I can usually describe about any of those things. But, and also during that time, it's been 10 years ago since Princess Twilight Sparkle, both parts 1 and 2, have been released. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting, Sonic. Yeah, especially concerning for the fact that, well, I wasn't appeared during that time. I know you haven't, Starlight Glimmer, because you only show up in the beginning portion of Season 5 for the QT map, and all the way up to the last problem. So, yeah, I totally get the picture. But anyways though, now it's my turn for me to do the 6th round. So, oh boy, I wonder how this can be pretty tricky to able to get certain points, especially that I would say the one on the right and the one in the middle is way too tough to able to actually get certain points off, because again, they all split apart, and also there are bombs in a way, so thanks a lot. Alright then, now it's my turn, so yeah, because if you couldn't tell already, is that, well, today's date of course there is the 24th of November today, in some cases in 2023 today. Naturally speaking, we are getting very close to the point where basically, I believe it's around next week or something like that. It looks like next week is going to be the final month of 2023, to be more specifically, in December. So because of that, I'm sure about the fact that we're about to be prepared to able to decorate the entire Christmas tree at some point. Oh, son of a biscuit! Oh, that was very unlucky on your part there, Starlight Glimmer. Yeah, I totally know that. So, anyways though, so with that being said, also during around that time, is that, did you know there was actually not 1, but 3 Sonic games has recently became 30 years old during that specific time, which are, oh, what are these Sonic games, you're wondering, Sonic? I'll tell you something about this, Jewel, and that is or which 3 of them, to be more specifically, which they are, Sonic CD on the North American version as... What the heck just happened right there, Jewel? I have no words, because apparently I got 15 points out of nowhere. I'm guessing because you used the magnet ball on that specifically random edge that you did somehow magnetically attracted to. Well, I was expecting to try to aim for 200 points or 100 points, but I somehow failed that particular strategy, so... Oh well, I suppose I'll take 15 points, no matter what, so... Even though so far that Blossom was actually in the lead right now. Yeah, because I'm more concerned about the fact that I was really expecting that, because I somehow utilized my, you know, my magnet ball and all that stuff, as well as double, score as well. Or triple score, to be more specifically, so, it feels like I was actually, well, doing pretty good so far. Well, the only time exception is me though, but that's just because about the fact that, as you can tell, I keep on getting some very screwy moments for not only just trying to able to make those spike balls to appear, but also about the fact that those bomb placements are always seems to able to aggravate me, so... But again, it's just for fun really, so even then, no, not much else explanations for the sake of time, so... Anyways though, so let's get into the forms of which one of those Sonic games have recently became 30 years old, which there are, let's just say, the English version of Sonic CD, both the American and the European version, and on top of that, there's also Sonic Chaos for the Sega Master System / Game Gear. So, at least technically speaking though, is about the fact that technically Sonic Chaos has already became 30 years old during that time on the Japanese version, on the Game Gear version of Sonic Chaos, or as what the Japanese version of the game calls it, Sonic and Tails. And finally though, Sonic Spinball for the Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis has officially became also 30 years old. So, yeah, that does seem quite a lot there, Sonic, especially while looking back on Sonic CD, on the Sega CD. Mind you, we basically pretty much used to with the remastered version of Sonic CD just because of the smooth animations during in special stages, as well as some quality of life improvements after all. Oh, don't tell me I missed. Ah, this is great. Alright, so I believe we're actually onto the halfway point in terms of Monkey Target already. Like, I could imagine about the fact that while looking back on during eForms of 10 years ago, I almost assumed that the Wheel of Danger can sometimes drag a bit, but actually, as it turns out, it doesn't seem able to get dragged on, so I think it's roughly in a steady pace, so at least if I was expecting for something, so... But anyway though, so yeah, while looking back on journey forms of Sonic CD, as what Jewel has already explained about this, is that, well, potentially speaking though, it's one of the greatest Mega CD games that have ever been released, especially concerning for the fact that despite it didn't sell that many copies because of the actual failure for the actual miserable add-on for the Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis, so... Yeah, because they strictly learned a lesson to able to actually make more Sonic titles that able to came out for the Mega Drive / Sega Genesis, likely also for Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles and Sonic 3D Fleeky's Island, and I think that's as far as we can able to think about this, so... But it still is one of the greatest Sonic games ever made, even though that, I will admit though, the level design is just a bit all over the place in my opinion. Like, it does have a lot of emphasis on time travel aspects, you know, something very similar to Back to the Future and stuff like that, which is very understandably so. And, for the most part, I always attempt to enjoy the entire soundtrack lineup for Sonic CD. It doesn't matter if it's either the Japanese version or the US soundtrack. For me, though, I think the Japanese version soundtrack is by far the best, so... Well, mainly it's because of the forms of not only for its entire catchy vibes to it, but also it fits the entire nature for the entire zones right from the start, ranging from, you know, this little catchy upbeat tunes for the sake of Plum Tree Panic, alongside with the forms of some very cool sound implementations for Collusion Chaos, and even fits the atmosphere very calm and nicely in Tunnel Tempest, and obviously Stardust Speedway is obviously the highlight of the Japanese soundtrack. So because of that, yeah, I just feel like about the fact that I should probably say this right now, you can still able to recommend getting Sonic CD, although it might cost a lot of money these days. But if I were you might as well go after the Sonic Origins Plus version nowadays, because obviously Sonic CD Remastered version is no longer there on the likes of the forms of not only the PlayStation 3, but also Xbox 360 as well. So because of that, yeah, I feel like that the future points for the retro video games nowadays is actually gonna get bleak. Yeah, because the forms of online discontinuations, likely currently at the moment, we've only just got about a couple of months left until both the Wii U and 3DS online services is about to shut down. So it seems it's kind of unfortunate because obviously you can no longer play Super Mario Maker on the Wii U, which is kind of sad honestly, because relatively speaking, they have a lot of nostalgic memories of. Are you kidding me? Ah. Are you okay there, Blossom? You seem to got a little bit annoyed right there. Yeah, I'm just a little bit slightly annoyed because I was expecting to get some more points, but it's just that sometimes I just couldn't seem to stop. I wonder what that could be, I wonder. But anywho though, so it looks like we're currently on round 9 at the moment, so yeah. It feels like we're having some bit of good conversations for the sake of time. Oh, and another thing is worth noting for, while looking back in Sonic Chaos, for the likes of... Oh, gosh darn it! Seriously, this round is pretty difficult. Yeah, tell me about it. So anyway, what are you saying? Oh yeah, while looking back on Sonic Chaos for not only the Sega Master System, but also on the Sega Game Gear as well, I'm referring to as the English version of the Game Gear version most notably, because, while looking back on it though, it was relatively short as a game it is, although mind you, I still managed to enjoy the game as it goes by, although mind you, I still kind of prefer Triple Trouble a little bit more, just because of how unique the actual level themes are, especially with Robotnik Winter and all that stuff. So that's as far as I can think about it. Oh, I see how this goes, hey? And lastly, for Sonic Spinball for the Mega Drive / Sega Genesis, it was quite an alright distraction while looking back on it though. Even though, mind you, about the fact that it's kind of weird for me though, that the actual official game itself obviously keep on referencing not just by the forms of maybe Sonic SatAM, but it's also with maybe the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon series for that matter, because I believe both Sonic Spinball and Sonic SatAM, including the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon shows, obviously they managed to came out in the exactly same year in 1993. So kind of thinking about it though, I wonder why that Sonic was actually popular enough during the forms of in 1993 for the sake of not only bringing up some of these cartoon shows his first ever debuted. Yeah, that was before when obviously with Sonic X, and before Sonic Boom, and before Sonic Prime, and all the other stuff. So because of that, yeah, while looking back on those two specific shows back to back, I can see why a lot of people seemed able to really enjoy Sonic SatAM a little bit more, just because of all that darker nature, and on top of that, not so much silly comedic cake or anything else like that. I apologize for my tongue twisting again, folks, because I was expecting to able to try to explain something like comedic silliness involved for the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, just because, well, despite the art style feels a bit too weird for my taste, but still, it does have some nostalgia fan bases after all, but either way though, that's as far as I can try to explain any of those things, so... But anyway, so we now move on to round 10, as you can definitely tell, and it looks like so far that Starlight Glimmer, she's actually currently in the lead, so... Well, except for the part that I somehow activate bombs, so... You better watch out for those, ba-bomb. Why you keep on bringing that up? Well, I keep thinking about the forms of the actual, the actor Dennis Hopper, who able to actually did a voice actor for Bowser, or Koopa, in that god-awful Mario Brothers movie as a live-action movie. I mean... Oh, dang it! I closed it a bit too early. Alright, round 11, here we go. Alright, let's see what specific stuff I will trigger. Spike balls. Nah, figures that much. And yes, I'm also going for a triple score, just in case I definitely need to catch up. Now I'm catching up almost right where Starlight Glimmer is, so assuming of course that I keep on missing those bunch of bananas, which is not that very great in my part, but either way, at least I tried to able to obtain them. Oh! Oh, please land. Oh, that was close. Wow, that was a very lucky stop right there, Joel, because obviously that if you dare fall off onto that specific incline or that little slope, well, basically you're not gonna get that much points. Oh, you kidding me? I somehow activate those bombs. Well, best of luck trying to avoid them, especially because, again, if you dare touch the bombs, you get fluked off, and then, hopefully, you don't fall in the water, so... Although, I must say, while looking back on Super Monkey Ball 1 now, for its water textures, it's actually really pretty to look at. Yeah, I gotta admit for this point there, Joel, because this is the GameCube launch title after all, alongside with Luigi's Mansion, as well as the forms of Pikmin 1, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and all the other games I could probably think about on the top of my head. Although, relatively speaking, I was about the fact that, well, I think that's as far as I can talk about for the sake of the forms of today's discussion. Although, relatively speaking, I was about the fact that while looking back into the forms of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 4, for the sake of Princess Twilight Sparkle both parts 1 and 2, I will say that episode still looks very great, even to this day. Sure, it does have some very convoluted parts, but regardless of such though, after 10 years since when these two episodes have first came out, I still managed to enjoy it, especially concerning for the fact that that was the time where we're able to see some more action set pieces for not just body forms of some new elements that we're able to bring something into, but it's also about the fact that we're able to see you know, Alicorn Twilight Sparkle in action, able to try to get used to with her flight for her wings and all that stuff, which actually turns out in the later episodes of Season 4 and onwards that she's now more accustomed to the wings. So, yeah, pretty awesome potentially. So, oh my goodness gracious me, it looks like that Starlight Glimmer is back up. Yeah, because I already know what to do here, so even though I'm sure that if I somehow win this, I could imagine how Trixie will be like, "Oh, congratulations Starlight Glimmer, you somehow win for me." Well, I could imagine for saying this, but who knows? Alright, so now we're on to round 12, back onto this particular harder stuff, selections of floats to able to go into, but still, it's not as easy to able to actually land on these things after all, because no matter how many times we were expecting to able to get certain points off this, well, turns out, no luck. Unless if you do have the break ball equipped. So anyways, let's get to the forms of the topic about the fact that why we're not touching upon Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania version of Monkey Target. Well, long story short, the physics is wrong. So because of that, yeah, they screwed up everything in Monkey Ball Banana Mania just because of all this momentum is screwed up. And on top of that, I feel like that the actual party game itself is way more shorter compared to the forms of how it does it for this particular version of Monkey Target, at least in my opinion. And on top of all that stuff though, I just feel like that, at least don't get me wrong, that, oh no, 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 no. Well, at least you're safe. Well, despite I crash landed for some reason. But at least on the upside you get 40 points, so nothing can go wrong with it, didn't it? Well, despite the fact that I was expecting to able to actually just try to land on that. Well, I almost assume I've almost gonna land on the water, but turns out they've almost got to close for its, you know, platforms and such. Or do you mean floats, Blossom? Oh right, because those things just somehow floats on the water, so... Oh, there's also another thing I should probably want to address something about this as well, is that in addition with Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, Super Monkey Ball on the Nokia N-Gage also did screw up Monkey Target, mainly because, well, the environment doesn't make that much sense. Likely also it does manage to take place in one theme, which is the jungle theme environment, which I get it because of the limitations of the space limitations for the Nokia N-Gage, and not only that, I think landing on the target is what the actual problematic comes in. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I was gonna land on that specific target way earlier or way too late, otherwise you keep on falling off and you pretty much wasted your turns. So yeah, so that's why we decided to go for not only Super Monkey Ball 1 on the GameCube, but also Super Monkey Ball Deluxe as well. Even on the PlayStation 2, does have some bit of rough textures, in addition with bad loading times as well. And in addition to that though, it's just about the fact I feel like the analog stick on the PlayStation 2 feels a bit too bulky for my taste. But I can suffice to say, you're probably definitely able to recommend the Xbox version of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, at least for my certain agreement. So, and I'm sure that most Monkey Ball players out there will have pretty much already done that already, so... Alright, so we're getting very close towards the end of Monkey Target before we move on to the next party game that we like to able to go back into, so... Yeah, that should be interesting, all things considered though, Sonic, so... Even though I should probably save up for the next two rounds until I decide able to go after, let's say a magnet ball. So just in case I can able to use that, so I can able to actually catch up to Starlight Glimmer, which I did. Ha! Oh, you really think so for this point, Blossom? Well, prove it, Starlight Glimmer. Let's see how you think about you able to pull off some awesome skills like this. Well, at least after when Sonic finishes turn first. And it looks like I get the feeling that Sonic is actually... Well, I don't know about you, Sonic. You seems able to actually have some bit of worse luck for this point. Well, truth be told, I blame on the forms of that separate pieces floats, because, again, it's not as easy to able to actually land on these things at all, unless if you have the magnet ball, which is the best ability throughout, so... what are you doing? I was expecting to try to find a gold platform in here, but I think I somehow screwed up the strategy, so... Yeah, I think I somehow screwed up. Yep, I did, because I just wasted a lot of flight. Alright then, now it's my go, so let's see what specific hazards I'll trigger. Of course it's bombs. Well, not long now until we're able to actually finish this entire thing, so... And it looks like you did somehow activate the triple points, so... Or triple score, as what the announcer says, so... Yep, so that I can able to actually caught up, and yep, I got back in first. And except the fact you got blown up by a bomb twice. I suppose it doesn't matter, because I'll take 60 points any day, so... From that particular landing on a 20 points score. Alright, for you, Jewel, you're basically safe now, so... Oh, goody. So now I can use my magnet ball, so that way I can now able to actually land on that 300 points, so... Let's see how this goes, eh? But, yeah, that's as far as we can able to talk about during the forms of today's discussions for this point, folks. I mean, sure, about the fact no matter what, though, it's been like, some time ago when, someone said in the comments during the forms of our, the last multiplayer mayhem thing we did done in the past, since in, 2022, where both Mighty and Ray have already tackled through, Monkey Billiards DX for the sake of the forms of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, and one of the comments did say about the fact that we would love to able to do the actual Super Monkey Ball 1 party games again, but this time with much more better quality. Not only that, the commentary is a little bit more better than the forms of how it does in 10 years ago, because I feel like that in 2013's case, it might be felt a bit too dated right now, or to be more specifically, outdated. So, but regardless of such though, is about the fact that this is a new improvement version of that particular good old classic memories of ourselves. Yep, especially concerning for the fact that despite, you know, both Daffy and Sylvester are not involved this time around, in addition with White Teddy, because, you know, she passed away, ever since in almost 3 years ago. And in addition to that though, Orange Teddy is no longer a case, because obviously he's now moved to a different home. So, if you want to know what's going on, so... Because basically what this means is that I believe Brown Teddy is all by himself now, so as a result about the fact that he needs to look after him for himself and able to actually live into a different apartment. So, yeah, I feel sorry for him, especially because, well, relatively speaking of that, you know, his girlfriend died, didn't he? Or did she, rather? Yeah, especially it's bad enough that she had COVID-19 and stuff. Yeah, I totally respect that. Anyway, your turn, Starlight Glimmer, so let's see what you can do. Well, obviously, I'm gonna go after the third float, and also I need to keep on collecting some more bananas, so just in case I can able to activate the magnet ball on a special occasion. Oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to aim for that gold platform for last, aren't you? Well, suffice to say, that could be possible if, depending on my timing skills, was pretty much inevitable. But either way though, I suppose we'll find out. Until now, in the final round. Yup, in some cases, round 15. So, unfortunately, we're going back onto that particular hardest floats, so... Alright, so I suppose I'll use this last item, which is the double score, so... Good luck, Jewel. You gotta need it. Well, thanks, Sonic. I appreciate it. Especially you always been a good friend to me. Yeah, even especially noticeable because I know for a fact that, well, at least you're still in third, though. Yeah, I would have been surprised about the fact that, imagine if Blue decides to able to join in, then obviously he doesn't know what to do. Oh, come on! Gosh dang it. Alright, now it's my turn. So, in a final round in Monkey Target, so let's see... Gosh darn it. Wow, it's bombs again. It's more like bombs away, more like... I don't know what you would call it. But again, I apologize for my tongue twisting, just decides to aggravate me sometimes. maybe you've spoken too much though, Sonic. I suppose that's true. Alright, come on. Let's see if I can able to catch up in first place. Oh, no! 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 I hate you, bombs. Alright, now it's my turn. I don't think it's possible for me to able to caught up because, well, bombs exist. Oh boy, this is gonna be one of those hectic moments, isn't it? Well, at least I can able to utilize my double points or double score, so that's something, I suppose. Alright, come on, you. Come on, AI. You can win this for me. I guarantee it. Although nothing really matters though, because oh, this float is always gonna be pretty stingy. And oh, I got blown up. And oh, okay, I somehow safe. Okay, I'll take 80 points. So, but I didn't exactly catch up though, so I'm pretty much dead last. And now for Starlight Glimmer, and as it turns out, she's safe. And for that recollection, I'm gonna use my Magnet Ball. Well, good luck trying to get that golden platform, as you probably established that earlier. I might think of something. Looks like she's trying to do something specific. And ta-da! Oh my god, she actually done it! So no matter what though, Starlight Glimmer, she's the champion in Monkey Target 2023 edition. So yeah, I'm in dead last like I said before. And meanwhile for Jewel, she's actually in third. And Blossom, she was in second place. And of course, number 1 goes to Starlight Glimmer. So congratulations, Starlight Glimmer. Yep, you're the best unicorn ever. Well, I will admit though, I totally agree for my part, from my perspective. Ah, there goes my performance in Monkey Target. But at least, we actually did pretty well for the substantial amount of scores we keep on getting. Yeah, I will admit though, it was actually a lot of fun going back to this though, especially with smooth 60 frames per second, and also no load times as well, so yeah, but anyway though, and after that, it takes us to the name entry screen, and that's all there is to really think about it. So yeah, pretty fun and interesting experience, especially because we now turned on not only the items, as you can tell, but also with the Wheel of Danger, which I will admit though, it's actually a lot of fun with the actual, the Wheel of Danger. Just have something's a little bit interesting for its, well, you know what I'm saying. And of course, that's I'm gonna have to utilize with the 3-letter system because, well, as you can tell, that Jewel just puts in JWL stands for Jewel for short, and that could be also applies for my Blossom's name. So, yeah, I think that goes for the forms of my name as well, and Starlight Glimmers as well. So, yeah, I kinda wish we were able to fit in more names on it though, but that's just the way how it is. So, yeah, join us tomorrow for more of this particular fun stuff. Is that we're going back onto Monkey Golf, and that's basically all we can think about in terms of tomorrow. So we'll see you guys until then. Yep, see you then. See ya. See you then.